Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are getting ready to do the month of May. You asked for it, you got it. Now I'm going to tell you, I started to do this video last week and we had a few things happen. You saw last Saturday's video, so you understand about what all is going on with that. Just let me update and say that everything is going much, much better, and we are very, very grateful. And I want to thank you for all of your thoughts, prayers, concerns, comments, all of the things that you do. I really, really do appreciate it. That said, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and let's get going with this. All right, so our first comment is from Wes Menzel. And Wes writes, new subscriber, enjoying the open air freedom. That was a video that I did on the 2023 CanAm lineup where we were laughing about the open air freedom, where they said that on all of them, of your channel, and great info. Dealing with an off-the-wall situation, I bought a Goldwing and realized that my knees and hips are shot, so I can't ride it. Man, you know, I see this a lot. I hear this a lot. In fact, I was speaking to a guy earlier today. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Looking at trading it in for a Spyder of some flavor. Appreciate your no-nonsense, okay, maybe a little nonsense, reviews and ride vids to help guide me along. Well, Wes, I can tell you that you'll love the Spyder. It is a horse of a different color. It requires a little development, you know, when you come from the two-wheeled world and the Goldwing world. But I think you'll really, really like it. So welcome to the channel, Wes. Next one is Mr. BJ. Well, Mr. BJ wrote on the Dainese jacket review, which is, by the way, a great summertime riding jacket. The Dainese CE Level 2 is beautiful padding, and as well as that mesh jacket, just a fantastic jacket. I'm going to tell you, Mr. B, I agree. I love my Dainese jacket. It is a fine, fine jacket. On the Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro crash bar and light relocation installation, says, didn't you used to have a bald head? You know, I did have a bald head. In fact, you can see I've got it cut pretty close now. As busy as things have been here lately, every now and then I just kind of don't get the blade out and fall a little bit behind. All right, another one on that same video from Stan Weaver. If you ever watch Doodle on a Motorcycle YouTube channel, she uses crash bars so much that they get bent. She also has a Tiger. Actually, Stan, as you mentioned that, I do watch Doodle on a Motorcycle. Big fan of her channel. She's done some training here in Florida and just has a super disposition. If you don't watch Doodle on a Motorcycle, you need to. Next is from Nathan Wolf on the Triumph 900 Rally Pro installation. Says the tip with the piece of tape is superb. I'm 58 in May and my eyes feel every year of that. So I'll be using that tip from now on. What it was there was a bolt that went in and there were some washers behind it and spacers. So I got a piece of tape and I wrapped it around that so that the spacers and washers couldn't fall out when you put that bolt in there. Yeah, a little bit of tape can save you a lot of headache, y'all. All right, next from Nancy Lowry on the You Asked For You Got It last month. Hey Coach, how about a video on buying a used Can-Am, what to look for? Also, include some of the quirks that people have been confronted with. Love your channel. You know, Nancy, that is an excellent, excellent suggestion. And I'm going to make a video on purchasing a used Can-Am. And I am going to talk about the quirks of the machine, things that, you know, if you buy that model that you want to look for, not necessarily to keep you from buying it, but if you do buy it, maybe to do away with some of those quirks. Next is from Tony Rowland on the You Asked For It, You Got It. It said, on recall, and I've got a few comments on that I'll mention as we go through this video. On the recall, dealer said no parts until mid-May. This is dealer-wide, not just him. Hey, Can-Am, get parts to dealers before or close to the recall, not a month out. Well, let me tell you, Tony, I'm dealing with recall from last year. The part I'm talking about is the pulley for the belt. Now, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but we're looking at a real problem in the sense that my dealer still doesn't have a replacement pulley for my Spyder, and the recall was last August. So this comment refers directly to that as well. This is from DD Tex, and it says, Coach Bob, speaking of recalls, any update on that front sprocket recall. My 18 RT is affected by this, but BRP and my dealer have been stringing me along for about a year. Still no parts. Is yours affected by this as well? DD Techs, mine is in fact affected by it, and my dealer doesn't have it as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to see, and I don't know, here again, I may be overstepping the old boundaries, which, I'm an old guy, so overstepping boundaries doesn't really bother me a whole lot. I'll see if I can't call some folks and maybe as an ambassador, maybe get some inside information. I don't know if that's too much to ask. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'm going to make some calls this week, and I'm going to see if I can't find something out about that. On the Tiger Crash Bar again, perfect explanation. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you. This was from Pierre Zamet. So Pierre, thank you for the comment, and I'm glad it helped you, buddy, because that's what those videos are for. Next is from Dom Fur. Now, Dom Fur is a regular on the channel, and I love his comments. They're all, a lot of them are laced with humor and also some wonderful, wonderful thoughts. He goes, riding in the city and exploring the area is a bike fest. Yes, it is. And this looks more like a large yard sale. He was talking about all the tents and stuff at the Tally Bike Fest. It did look that way that day. I got to admit, Dom Fur. The next day, things picked up quite a bit and everything was more organized. Didn't look quite so yard sale-ish the next day. But great comment. All right. Alpinestars SMX Plus V2 Vented Boot Review. This is from Gregory Ray. Just got a pair. They're too darn nice to wear. You know what? I'm going to tell you, they are super nice boots. I'm on my second pair. This year I will be ordering a third pair. I'm prone to go to rallies and just walk around in them. I'll show you what they look like real quick for those who don't know. So these are the SMX Vented boots. These are great boots. In fact, I had a guy earlier today actually ask me about the boots, and he was telling me a story about a friend of his when he was in the Navy that got in a motorcycle accident, wasn't wearing the proper foot attire, and we'll just say there was some bone exposure. Now this is from Robert on a new motorcycle. What could it be? 5 months ago, you were preparing for the TAT. How is that going? Well, first off, it's going well, but with all the things we've had going on in the family, it's a little hard for me to focus. I'll be quite honest with you on that. However, we are riding, we are training, we're doing a lot of dirt work. If you were to see the Tiger a couple of days ago, it was covered in mud. You'd go, man, you're well on your way. In the fall, my wife and I drove the Tellico Plains, Tennessee, and checked out the North Carolina TAT map I purchased. Our experience was terrible. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. From Tallahassee, I'm using Gravel Map. So I'm going to have to check that out. I am exploring unpaved roads in our area, thinking of using Gravel Map to ride my KLR 650 to North Georgia and back instead of using the TAT. I will plan my own route. So, Robert, great comment, great thoughts on that. Even if I do the TAT, it would be nice to just have that app to find places to ride. Next up is from Melvin Villali. I could have said that wrong. Highly unlikely, though. I am a YouTuber. This is on the CanAm Spyder long-term review, what you need to know. Try riding a Suzuki TL1000R in the hot summer and you will be on fire and stop traffic. One of the things I talked about is how the Spyder, you're sitting in a convective oven over the top of that thing in red lights in the summertime. Next, from Miguel Acosta on the 2023 CanAm RT, where all the facts. I may get me one, but I have a side comment. People that speak so clear and precise with all the spaces and commas in between sentences. That has helped me to learn my English. Well, Miguel, if I am speaking clearly and concisely with everything in the right place, I want to tell you thank you for noticing that, because I really do try to, not sound like a knucklehead on here. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes not so much. JD Rock, this is on the Tally Bike Fest, says, LOL, I love the shaking of the head. Now, so I rode the Can-Am as I was leaving, and there was a guy that had, the Harley tats and the chain hanging out of the pocket and just going. he even dropped his head, I think. He looked at it and went, you're one of those. Kind of funny. It is a trip on how many times I get that, or that long stare as I'm riding and waving like I'm not riding a reverse Harley trike. You know, every now and then I'll get that look from somebody, and I guess just the childishness in me comes out when I see the like that, or, you know, and I'll just do this, you know, wave like a kid. I think the whole thing's so funny. This is from David Howard on the You Asked For It, You Got It. I've been a subscriber for a while. I wanted to thank you for your videos. You are very welcome. Thank you for watching. I was late to motorcycling, not getting my first two-wheeler until I turned 40. You ready for this, y'all? I turn 80 in a month. Yes, you heard me right. He turns 80 in a month. And riding has been and will continue to be a major part of my life. After years on my gold wing, I realized that age and physical changes meant that it was time for something different. Brother, it's amazing how life does that to us, isn't it? Discovering the CanAm Spyder was a true revelation for me. I do miss leaning into curves. Yeah, I understand that too. But the stability and the smoothness of my 2021 RT for both myself and my wife, so he's 80 and he's riding with his wife, more than make up for it. The elimination of the concern about tipping over at a stoplight or encountering a road where the asphalt suddenly turns to gravel has let me be a rider. As I enter my 9th decade, watching your videos makes me feel that while I am on 3 wheels now instead of 2, I am still part of the motorcycle community. Thanks much. Well, David, you are definitely a part of the motorcycling community, and I want to tell you thank you for that comment, man. That is just awesome. You are definitely added to the Coach Bob 3 hero list. All right, this is on an old Red Hills Power Sports video from Robert. It says, great ad for Red Hills. Your success could be advertising. Well, I'm going to tell you, you know, it's funny. I made this video and then their building burned down, and now they're sold out to another business. So I don't know. I hope my video wasn't like the voodoo that made everything go wrong. It's from Robert Arton on the Tally Bike Fest video. So Robert writes, what kind of boots do you wear? How hot do they get in the summer? And oh, you don't like extra lights? I hear that they give people problems. And do you carry extra fuses? Love y'all. Well, first off, thank you, Robert, for the comment. I did respond to the video and told him I am wearing the Alpinestars SMX 1R vented boot. These are my boots of choice. I get nothing from Alpinestars. I get no kickback, no affiliate money, nothing. This is just a boot that I absolutely believe in on my second pair. Are they hot in the summertime? No, they're not. These are the vented version. Make sure you get the vented version. The non-vented version is hot, but it's not as hot as my TCX boot. Now, this is a waterproof boot. This is a great winter boot, but summertime, don't do it. Stick with the Alpinestars. Much better choice. As far as extra lights, I put those lights on my fenders just for better visibility. I don't like I'm not a bling guy. You know, I'm just not a bling guy. I'm very utilitarian. On the California Dreamin' Day 2, this is the big tour. This is from Dad2468. All right, Dad2468 writes, I love watching your videos. I live in the Houston area now, but I used to live in San Angelo, which is about 90 miles north of Sonora, which you went through between Junction and Ozona. We can have a couple of triple-digit temperatures in that area. Keep up the great videos. Well, brother, we sure found those triple-digit times then. It was hot. Thank you for the comment, buddy. Also, on Capricious Vlogs writes, on California Dreamin' Day 2, says you two are so inspiring. Well, thank you, man. We really appreciate that. Eric Broncala writes on the You Asked For It, You Got It. Coach Bob just bought a 2018 Spyder RT Limited. Thanks for the information. A question for you. I rode at night for the first time last week and noticed how dark the Spyder was around the paddle shifters. They are turn signals and the horn. Is there a light mod you could do that would provide better visibility for these instruments at night? Sadly, Eric, there isn't. You know, hopefully BRP. This is a good thing. BRP, pay attention. CanAm on road, backlight your all of the things on your handlebar, makes it a lot nicer. BMW's doing that. Triumph's doing that. Come on, BRP, you can do it. Jump on in. The water's fine. All right, Capricious Vlogs writes on another video on the eastbound and down. This is day one as we were coming back from San Diego, coming back across the country. Bob, great stuff. What is the black book you keep looking at for your routes? Is it specially made for traveling? Thank you. You know, I don't have that book right here handy. I do have it somewhere in the house, but basically I take these little notebooks like this. Now that black one was actually given to me as a white elephant gift, and it was like, it's Christmas and all I got was this lousy book. It says something like that on the front of it. But what I do is I write down where we're going and the dates we're going. Now this is the book that I carried when we did our trip down to Key West and then back up to Maine. And this is what it will look like. So day one was Tallahassee to Naples, how long it took, what my estimated mileage was, what the actual mileage was. And then what I'll do is I will also do things like this on the northern leg. In between each specific location, how many miles I'm anticipating, total miles, all of that stuff. If I meet someone, I will go to a different part of the book and I will write notes so that I'll remember that person, remember their name, and that sort of thing. So that's all it is. It's just a way for me to keep up with all my business. Nathaniel Montanez Vega writes on tire pressures, the Fobo install. I can say that motorcycle tires will fool you and you'll think they're at the correct pressure. And at the least expected moment, you'll be riding on underinflated tires when you turn into the curve on the road and a tire will pop off the rim. TPMS is the best. Now, I'm going to tell you, I had an experience this week which was just completely validates what you're saying, Nathaniel. I was going to ride my speed triple this week, and I'd not ridden it in about 3 months. I know that's terrible, isn't it? So when I put the tire pressure monitor on it, the back tire had 9.4 pounds of pressure in it. So yeah, and it looked inflated, and when you pressed it, it felt inflated. And I was like, this can't be right. So I actually got out another tire pressure gauge to see if it was the first one was reading incorrectly. I'm thinking that's crazy. All right, this is from John Kidney, and this is on the Spyders Tri-Glides, love them or hate them kind of thing. John writes, turning 79 next month, and I am ready to buy my first trike. Well, John, first off, congratulations on the big 79, man. That is awesome. I am beginning to have problems with balancing and walking. For safety reasons, the trike is the way to go for me in the future. And planning to tour the national parks, so I am welcoming the extra space for storage. I am still an HD individual, so we'll be sticking with them instead of going to the CanAm. I'm going to tell you, John, you can't go wrong. The HD Tri-Glides are super top-notch. Fit and finish is awesome, awesome, awesome. So congratulations, buddy. You ride safe. Hope to see you on the road sometime, buddy. This one is on the Get You Some, the JF Egwo compressor jump starter. Love to know your thoughts on running a TPMS on your Spyder. Talked about that a little bit in the last comment. I do run the Fobo system, F-O-B-O, and it's awesome. It's awesome. The only thing you have to do is make sure your batteries are solid. John Ratty writes on the how does it feel to own a Spyder? As a motorcycle rider for the past 30 years, this was such a great and thoughtful video. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Due to knee issues, I can't ride a motorcycle anymore. Been riding for 30 years, and I'd sooner ride a Can-Am and keep on riding for another 20. Well, I'm going to tell you, John, you know, we do run into that. And, you know, I've got some nerve issues going on in my hips, and I keep saying, as long as I can do the two, I'm going to do it. But there's going to come a time where the body is going to say no, and that's just going to be where it is. CanAm Spyder RT long-term review. This is from Ethi Cardo Sanchez. Hi, Bob. Can you please let me know about tire pressure? I kept getting different stories. The mechanic says 28 on the back, 22 on the front. Others say 30 and 28. What's the best tire pressure for my 2015 CanAm Spyder RT Limited? Well, let me get my phone real quick. Now, the reason I got my phone is not because I want to call someone. Every time I get this question, I do one of two things. If I don't have the Spyder handy, then I pull out my phone where I have a picture. I'll drop it like right up here somewhere. And it has the tire sizes and the air pressure. So what do I run? Front tire, 22 PSI, rear tire, 30 PSI. That's what I run. That's what CanAm recommends. You may run different. There are people who have all kinds of opinions all over the place on that, but that's what I run. That's what I'm going to continue to run. On the Spyder steering video, you asked, now watch. This is from Jess Core. Great video, Coach. I found looking through the turn on the Spyder helped the most. It does really help, even more than on my two-wheeler. Light touch is a must, and let the bike find its happy place. I don't correct every little thing. Ride safe. Excellent comment. Excellent comment. From Dave N. DeGraff 2000 on the Spyder steering. After riding two wheels for years, the push or pull on your Spyder makes a big difference. Not the push and pull, the push or pull. Jim Parr on the Spyder steering. Back road rule of thumb. The road is always smoother on the other side. Yes, it is. You know, you're riding there, you're like, man, I wish I could be on the other side of the road. On the Spyder steering, Eric Wolfelt writes, what is your GPS mounted on? It is mounted on a Spyder cuff with a ram ball, and then I've got it using the GPS mount that came with my Garmin Zumo XT. All right, and the last comment of the day, which I thought was pretty interesting. This was from Micah Gale. The CanAm Spyder safer than a two-wheeler. Says one big danger of an ATV, right, is when the beast or the machine rolls on top of the rider. Do you think that the Spyder rolling on top of rider is a valid concern, since you can't really slide out from underneath it like you could a motorcycle, a standard two-wheel motorcycle? Micah, that's a great comment. You know, I've seen pictures. In fact, I'll drop a picture here. I'm going to do a video on some things that I've seen online. I'm still in some fact gathering information. But if you hit a deer or if you hit something and you run off-road and you roll it, can you roll it? You can roll the Spyder. You can. It's not something that, you know, you think about just flipping it on the road, but you can roll them. So you got to be careful. There's no doubt about it, because they're big and they are heavy. So yeah, I think that's a valid point, and I think we do have to be careful. But I'm going to tell you, just standard daily riding, the falling, low siding, high siding kind of thing, the Spyder is just way safer than a two-wheeler. This comes from a guy who rides both of them. It just is. But great comment, great comment. Now, I know this video's run a little long, but before we go, I want to talk a little bit about this shirt I'm wearing. This is a CanAm shirt. I'd gotten a comment, and I wish I had a copy of the comment down below, about the CanAm clothing line and jacket line and jerseys and all of that stuff. And that they were, the people that were looking at them, us CanAm riders, weren't sure about them. Well, I've recently gotten two t-shirt types, a short sleeve, a long sleeve. I got a jersey, a fleece, a hoodie, and a jacket. I'm going to be doing a video on the CanAm clothing and then an additional video on the CanAm jacket. I want you to see the quality of the clothes, what they look like, give you a better idea of what you're buying, because that was the big concern. They didn't feel that they were getting enough information through the website, or even had seen the clothing in a shop, because the dealers aren't carrying a lot of the on-road clothing. So hopefully through this channel, I can give you a little more insight on that. All right, well, there you have it. Another You Asked For It, you got it, in the books. Keep the comments flowing. Be sure to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. If you don't have anything to say, just as we say, tickle the algorithm, Gucci goo. Just write tickle down there below, just to keep the comments flowing. Keep it moving. We want to be big. Anyway, you know how it is. I appreciate y'all. So do me a favor until next time. You, yes you, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, got to take care of that machine. And remember, if you're not having fun, you are definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day. I'll see you on the road real soon, but we're done here.